A lot of our the investors in the market now have seen a lot of the the news about the Total Office deal that was struck. Big up to Sir Ryan Strawn. He was also
Yeah,
on our podcast, and we spoke a lot about it. You guys can
yeah,
see the previous videos; we'll link them, and
sure.
so on. But so, can you speak to us about that deal? Like, what do you do you like it? Do you any opinions on it, and so on?
Sure,
Go
sure.
ahead.
Listen, it's a natural fit for us.
Hmm.
We are good manufacturers. What we need are good sellers. And having Total Office represent us in the Eastern Caribbean gives us a footprint there, gives us a presence there, gives us people who are in the market who can who can sell our products for us. So that's the benefit number one. Benefit number two, it diversifies JFP because JFP is who is going to own the shares in Total Office and Total Office in JFP.
Hmm.
So it takes the both companies and it de-risks them by putting the two companies together. So if JFP has a bad year but Total Office can prop it up and then vice versa, that's a good thing. So it gives us business outside of Jamaica. It gives us a footprint outside of Jamaica. It gives us diversity. And it brings some different brain power and some different perspectives to the board because we'll sit on their board and they'll sit on our board. Um, so for those things, I think that it's a good deal for both parties, and I look forward to it coming to fruition. So we're in the middle of it now, and I'm anticipating that we'll close on it in short order, and I'm very excited about it. They're good guys, and you know the ownership there are people of ilk in their countries. One of their principals, Ryan Proudfoot, sits on the board of one of the largest banks in Trinidad. So again, it brings some expertise to the table that we currently don't have.
Okay.
Mm.
I think that any company that stays stagnant and does what they do year after year after year after year is going to run out of things to do. I think that it is important to be looking far and wide. I truly believe in mergers and acquisitions because countries, companies in Jamaica are tiny. Our company is would be considered a little baby company in America. But if we get together with Total Office, we're a little bigger. And
Hmm.
then if those two get together with another company, we'll be even bigger. And then we start to have a presence that we can now be respected, at least in the Caribbean at first. Then maybe we look further afield. And I don't mind. And I think what investors should be happy about is that myself and my partner Steve do not mind giving up equity, and we don't mind being a smaller part of a bigger pie rather than having this big piece of a small pie.
Mm. Yeah, I guess we saw you guys give up equity
Yeah,
to Total Office so that they could get the shares and so on. So
right. So
big deal
it's
for the
just a
company.
philosophy that we have. Sorry,
Hmm.
Matty, I cut you a little earlier.
Oh yeah, I was saying, what's the net profit of Total Office?
That I can't tell you. I haven't. Ryan would be the better person to tell you that. Um, I know they're a bigger company than us, though,
Mm.
and their
Oh,
profit margin
Profit
is
margin is
better
great, so
than us. Yeah.
mm,
okay. Okay.
nice. That's good news. That's very good
Yeah,
news.
and you know, again, as I was mentioning to you before, when we went public, we gave every member of staff that was with us a stake in the company, from whatever up to $100,000 worth of shares. Give to them free of cost,
Nice.
and a lot of people did not want to take it. A lot of people didn't understand it. They didn't think it was the right thing, and we had to do a lot of selling.
Hmm.
It's hard when you're giving somebody something that's valuable and equitable and They're saying, no, don't bother with that. You know, it's difficult to have to encourage someone to do what's right for them. But we did it, and thankfully, the majority of people have taken it. And they have not seen the benefit yet, but hopefully their children will.
I mean, they're up at least what 50,
70, 60.
60%.
Yeah.
At least
At
been
least.
up, been up as
So
much as 80%.
exactly. So I mean, I'm sure there has been benefits so far, and I think one of the reasons also why we do this podcast even is just to break those kind of barriers down, especially with financial literacy, because they may not see the value in what they're being given, the shares. I know a lot of people would much have preferred $100,000 in cash instead of $100,000 in shares.
Some ask for 50.
Some ask for 50K.
Yeah, they said they would take 50K instead of the 100,000 shares.
Wow. You see, so
I said,
uh,
you can take the shares and go and sell them tomorrow if you would like.
exactly. Wow. But I mean,
So,
it's a
but they say you
testament to
don't know what you don't know,
exactly,
And
exactly.
there's good reason for workers at a particular level to have skepticism. So I
Hmm.
don't blame anybody. I
Same.
think that management has done a poor job over the years, not in JFP, but in general. Management have done a poor job in including having financial inclusion with their staff and letting them understand the power that they can have. And listen, it doesn't matter to me if they see the value of it. If their kids and their grandkids see the value of it, that'll make me happy.
Mm. It's a JFP to 10 by that time.
Yeah,
To 100.
absolutely.
Love that.
10 and more.
Generational wealth.
That's
Generational
Yeah,
right. That's
wealth.
what we want. I want to be
exactly.
able to say that everybody who got a share in JFP is wealthy because of it, and it's changed their lives. I tell all my workers that every day. I say, listen, I want you to be rich.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I
I
love that.
want you to have so much money that you don't have to come to work here. You can
You
come
want
and
to.
train people.
Yeah. I mean, it's good for them because as if I was a worker in a company and so on, in a company like JFP, I'd also feel a sense of duty to push more, knowing that I own a piece of this company. So I agree with that
Yeah.
philosophy. So yeah,
Yeah.
man,
Hopefully, more companies will do it.
we'll see. Yeah, I know a lot of companies that do it now. I
Yeah.
remember even I think Richard Pandui said it for
Hmm.
Seprod. Like a lot of them have shares and so on, and he was giving out a lot of shares. So and
Right.
Grace did that as well. So I know a few
Yeah.
Dollar
companies
did
have
it
done
Yeah.
it.
too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I like that push. I like that push. Overall, what do you think is JFP's next big push?
As I'd mentioned earlier, we
Hmm.
are pushing to start exporting in the US
Okay.
and developing relationships with new brands in the US. So there are many brands that we don't do now, that we are in the process of starting to make contact and get to the right people and that sort of thing. So I would say that will be our next big push.
Is it more restaurants or hotels?
Well, we're starting with restaurants because when you get into the US, the numbers can get big. So if you get a contract in the US to do 100 KFCs, we need to be careful that we don't bite off more than we can chew. So it's restaurants in the US. Where we're looking at the hotels is here in Jamaica and in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
So, we have been getting the hotels from local players. We have not been getting the hotels from the Spanish and the international players. And
Yeah,
that's
but
something we've been working on legislatively. And in my role at the PSOJ, we're looking at it as well.
yeah, because if you
Yeah.
look at the numbers, Jamaica is going through. Well, we're going to be going through a huge
Huge.
construction boom in terms of the hotels. Like I've seen some numbers saying that they want to do up to even 20,000 rooms
That's
over the
correct.
next
That's the
five
number we have.
years.
That's the
That's
number we have.
quite
And
significant.
if we get 10% of those rooms,
Yeah.
it'll have a significant impact on our business.
And in those rooms, as you said, will need renovations at some point Because the thing is,
Correct.
something
So
with like a hotel, a hotel is more likely to need like the upscaling of the rooms than a restaurant and stuff, especially if it's like a luxury hotel and stuff like that. You don't want,
absolutely,
you know.
absolutely, for sure.
So yeah. And I'm sure the cost, like in terms of the actual materials of in like a luxury hotel room versus like a
Yeah.
KFC, so you
Mm.
likely earn more money from that. So it's not just
Yeah.
um
Well, the margins are about the same, but yeah, it's a
mm,
bigger volume, so it will put more to our bottom line.
Hmm. And you even spoke about capacity at the AGM,
Yeah.
stating that currently you're not close to
you
like
said
maximum
30%,
capacity. Yeah, so
which
there are
I was quite
So
approximately.
surprised that I didn't know it
yeah.
was so low. I'm like, wow.
So so the reason why we say 30% is because we're running one shift and we can run three shifts.
Mm,
So it's theoretically we could go to three shifts. There would be more expense because the factory would be running 6 days a week, 24 hours a day. But um, yeah, we're nowhere near capacity. And it's important for your listeners to know and investors to know that the company is fully, has a full solar voltaic voltaic system.
Mhm.
So we use we subsidize our electricity with solar to the tune of about 50%.
okay. So about at least 50% comes from solar power, is what you're saying.
Yeah, at
Okay.
sometimes during the day we're at 100%. But when you take the average over the, because we operate from 7 in the morning till 6 in the evening.
Okay.
Mm,
So the window where sun is really
mm,
best is between 11 and 2.
Okay. Nice.
okay.
Okay.
Mhm. 'Cause that's one of the biggest issues facing a lot of manufacturing companies in Jamaica, our energy costs. Because if you look at it,
Uh,
our energy costs compared to a lot of the other countries, it's really, really high.
Yeah.
So I think that's really good that you guys set up that solar system and stuff like that.
Yeah, so we set it
Um,
up 6 years ago, and actually 7 years ago. August is our final payment on the facility, and then the company will be out of that debt, and we will reap all the benefits of the solar system. So, whereas our light bill would normally be somewhere between 1.5 and $2 million a month, our light bill is now about half of that, about 750.
Okay. Wow. That's a significant.
Yeah, so that savings is going to go directly to the bottom line going forward from here.
Wow. Okay. So things like those are. I mean, what do you see as like the biggest challenges facing other businesses in Jamaica? I know energy costs. I mean, we speak about that as one, but what else do you think?
Yeah, energy cost, workers, training, getting trained, skilled people, dealing with HR matters.
Mm-hmm.
It's not difficult. Listen, anybody that tells you that business is easy is telling you a lie, right? Business is hard,
Mm,
but it's rewarding, especially the business that we do, which is manufacturing. Um, you guys are doctors. There's nothing more rewarding than that. But it's hard work, and anything that's hard work is rewarding at the end of the day. So I love it, and I am. That's how I've made my living, and wouldn't change it.
okay. Truly.
So
I mean,
I don't. You ask the question. What
it
what do
was
I
the
see
biggest
for other
challenges.
companies?
Yeah,
Yeah.
other companies in
Listen,
Jamaica, other businesses in Jamaica.
listen. Business, Jamaica, America, England, Timbuktu. People are going, business is going to be difficult, right? You're going to have challenges, whether it is workers anywhere in the world, whether it is the economy anywhere in the world, whether it is a bank anywhere in the world. If you're going into business, I think you need to know that it's about setting the proper systems and having the right human capital in place. Once you have those two things in place, I think that your mindset that there will be problems, you have to overcome them. Two, getting the right people around you, and three, having a good product and a good service. Remember,
Okay.
your customer is king. If they do those things, they'll be able to defeat any of the issues that do come up.
Nice. So even with getting trained, I'm assuming you need really good staff. You need skilled workers dealing with manufacturing of furniture and so on.
Yeah.
And you spoke about it previously, saying you have. Is there something with Heart Trust NT
Yeah,
that
we,
you?
we have worked with Heart over the years and
Mhm.
continue to so do, for them to um, supply us with the workers, and then we help to train them how we want them to be trained, how we need them to be trained. We have all the latest equipment and technology that we help them to learn how to use, certify them in how to use it, and Heart does. And after that we get them to we place them in our company or another company. So yeah, we've been working with Heart for a couple of years, and we'll continue to so do.
Okay. Okay. Even on the flip side, then, so what would you see as, let's say, the biggest opportunities facing businesses in Jamaica?
Listen, Jamaica is at an inflection point. We
Hmm.
have never in my lifetime had an economy better, a macroeconomic economy stability that we have, and an economy so poised for takeoff. Our debt to GDP has moved from 147% down to 79%,
Mm.
getting to the lowest it has ever been in 20 years. Our unemployment rate is as low as it has ever been, meaning that there is activity taking place. People are doing things. People have money when
Yeah.
people are employed. Our our reserves are as high as they have ever been. All of the macroeconomic things have been done. It's now for us to get growth by entrepreneurs getting into business, and those that are in business expanding, growing outside of Jamaica, in Jamaica, and more so outside of Jamaica. That's how we're going to get where we want to get as a country. And listen, the time has never been better. The opportunities are there. We are going to have a situation where we have just given our public sector a huge increase in salaries. That money is there to be spent. People are going to be consuming more. So opportunities are out there. And I encourage people to get into business. If you're if you're entrepreneurial in nature, get into business, but do it right.
Okay.
Okay, nice. I agree with you there. 100%. Yeah, we there's so many opportunities I see for businesses here in Jamaica
Yeah,
and
man.
outside of Jamaica, especially people do love Jamaica, and Jamaica itself is a brand, right? We carry our
Absolutely.
own brand, and it has its own international recognition. And we have so many people in the diaspora. People, I'm not sure what the exact figures are, but it's at least the population that's in Jamaica, at least that much. I think it's about 3 million in diaspora or so on, or could be even more, right? I'm not sure how they did the numbers, but yeah,
Yeah,
like the international recognition, the branding, and so on, so much more can come out of Jamaica. So I'm looking forward
absolutely.
to it, to seeing what can happen from now. Because as you said, it's the best economy we've had, that you've seen, and
Absolutely.
I mean we have so much more to go. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, man.
I had a question about JFP. Do you
Yeah.
guys, I don't know if you do any like market research, is there like a, say, estimated percentage of our local and regional contract manufacturing, like what percentage of that space do you guys control? Is it like you supply 30%, 50%?
We have not done the market research, but instinctively we know that we are the largest player, largest factory of its type in the Caribbean. Um,
Mm,
we feel that there's very few people that do everything that we do. So we do have competition in the woodworking space, and then in the cabinetry space, and then in the metalwork space, and then in the fiberglass space. But there's nobody that puts all those things together and does it as one for a company. So no, I think we have close to 100% of the market, other than companies that do import from the Far East and the US.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Could you share any piece of advice that you think you received early on in your career that has really stuck with you and has helped you to become the man that you are now?
The man or the businessman?
Both.
Um, you know, I've heard, my mother was from the country, so I heard a lot of snippets of different things that stuck with me. One of the philosophies I try to live by is you can't be wrong and face it. So if you're wrong, humble yourself, apologize, and move on. So many people double down when they're wrong. So that's one of the things. I think, just as a general rule, I find that kindness to people in every way is the best way to get what you want out of life. People, treat everybody the same, and treat everybody as. I guess my life changed a lot when I had kids, and they're no longer kids; they're all older than you. But the I always, every time that I'm interacting with somebody, I try to put my children in their, or my kids in their shoes, and how would I like the person to treat them.
Mm.
And I hope that has served me well.
Okay. Okay, that's a good look. That's a good way to look at it. A good
Yeah,
outlook. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Sir Metry, for coming on the show.
you're
I
very
know a
welcome.
lot of our listeners have been asking us to get you on and so on.
Really?
So, yeah, man, definitely. Trust
Okay,
me,
good.
a lot of them love the company, love the work that you're doing. So we would just
Excellent.
like to say, as Limitless, just thank you for all the hard work you've been doing. Thank you for coming on, and we hope to chat with you another time.
It was my pleasure, and I'm more than happy anytime you want me on show.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Have a good
Respect,
night,
guys. Thanks a lot. You too. Bye.
man. Limitless.
Say so.